So we both played the Division, and I think we both had, from what I talked to you a little bit about it, I think we both had pretty different opinions on this. This is a game. I guess what were your expectations of going to this game? Did you have like any? Were you excited? Were you just kind of like, eh?
I will admit, going in, I do not care about this game. This
Okay,
was I started playing the beta with the hope the beta would convince me I was going to enjoy this game. I don't know why. I had zero expectations for this game. I had zero real desire to play this. If it wasn't for the beta, I probably never would have touched this game.
yeah.
And as I played it, I was like, I completely confirmed every reason why I thought that.
That's fine. I think we came from say I was cautiously optimistic. I don't like going into I like I think with you you said that a little bit I guess like more with more emotion than you than you meant it, but like when we kind of go into this game like okay, I have no idea what this game's really going to be. Let's just
Yeah.
okay, you show me what
Yes.
this game is and then I'll decide if I like it.
Yes.
And going with no expectations, I played Far Cry recently. I just realized I don't really like those Ubisoft games, but I really liked the Division beta a lot. Uh, and I think it was because I was also playing Destiny at the time. And I was like, this is like Destiny, but but like Destiny to
It's
me is
exactly like Destiny.
it's like, but no, it's not in very specific ways. So Destiny to me, I felt maybe I haven't gotten far enough, but I'm like 15 hours in. Like I feel like I've seen a lot of the game. It feels very samey after a while, and maybe it's just because we just started this game. It feels new, like everything feels new. It's like that first 5 hours of Destiny you have.
Yeah.
The thing that immediately caught my attention though was the world of the Division. I thought was incredible. I thought it was like I thought it was absolutely amazing because I think that The Last of Us kind of showed us like, oh, every post-apocalyptic game I've played, it's like this is so far in the future, like there's only small amounts of humanity left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like these small groups and stuff like that. But this is like it's an apocalypse that still has people in it. I think when you first come to the island, like there's like maybe off to the side there's like a group of like I don't know maybe like 30 or 40 people like in a line getting ready to go through some sort of checkpoint or something like that.
Yep.
And it's kind of like the apocalypse only happened I don't know maybe like 2 years prior or something like that. So things are so like the electricity is still on. That was kind of an interesting thing I thought was like you'll walk past billboards or Christmas lights that are still on. You don't really see that in apocalypse games. You always see like just decades of and I think that's more of a technology thing that you couldn't really have a highly populated apocalypse. But now, because of the technology, we can have like a lot of people running around in the apocalypse, and so we can justify that by setting our time period earlier. Uh, but that was like
Yeah, I
my
guess
first
so.
impression was like I was just so caught off guard. I was like, wow, this is just a cool universe.
See, and again, maybe it's just I don't have a big thing for post-apocalyptic stuff. Like Fallout's been sitting on my shelf for like 2 months, just staring at me,
Yeah,
and I don't know why. I just as soon as I got in the helicopter, as soon as I walked down, I was like, "Oh, yep, okay, we got to go in the old abandoned building that's kind of tore up, and now we got to set up a base." Yep, okay. Oh, I need to go to the torn down hospital that's full of weird crap to go and find some medicine or something. Yep, done that before. It really just felt like, okay, this is a post-apocalyptic game, and here you go.
I feel like we might have gotten different missions because you described that you went. So what was your? I don't know if they did this in the beta. I probably should have wrapped on this a little bit, but it sounds like we got different missions because my medical, like, cause I think everybody had the same thing. They had to upgrade their medical base and upgrade their tech base, maybe.
Yep, mine
Uh,
was medical tech and communication. I want to say there were three.
yeah, yeah. So my first, I think security was like closed off to the beta or
Yeah,
something like that. Um, so my first mission was I had to rescue doctors at some place, but the place that I had rescued them from was an abandoned basketball court. Uh, so like the entire so like when you I didn't realize what it was at first. Like I saw when you kind of walk in, you see like the faces of coaches and stuff. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, I guess. Uh, but there's a part like when you actually start battling people, like you come into this humongous arena, just like this with like you see all like the hundreds of like thousands of seats. There's actually a jumbotron up top that's still like kind of lit, and on the bottom like the thing was opened up as a hospital. So it's like a hospital kind of sitting in the middle of a basketball arena and I was just like, I've just never seen anything like that before. I've never seen anything that dense before. I've always seen, you get whenever you get to like the ball arena in whatever Fallout or something like that, it's always like there's a few scattered seats around or something like that. Like you never see a full arena. Uh, so I don't know. I was just kind of
yeah.
like taken aback. I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that from this.
See, that sounds way because mine was I went right into a medical mission. I had to go into like this hospital thing, and as soon as I was in the hospital, it was just your standard corridors, bigger open rooms, going upstairs, like that kind of stuff that you would see in most other games. And then that was pretty much it. And it was just kind of had this feeling of okay, yep, that's fine.
Oh, that's so weird to me because like my battles, I was fighting in like you know how like every stadium has a bar. Like I
Yeah,
was fighting in the bar, or I was fighting in the place where they have all their trophies up, or I was fighting in the main arena. And then like the last thing is like you go up to the top, like where they have like the lights pointing down and stuff. So
yeah.
you go up to like the top area, like you end up in like the prime seat boxes and stuff like that, and like the whole thing like kind of like whirls up to the top of the building, and they have a
Yeah,
big
that sounds
fight
way
on top of.
cooler.
Yeah, and that I thought was really cool, and I was like, you're like I was in a hospital, like what are you talking about? Like I didn't have that. um, the other thing I sort of liked, or actually the other mission I had was like a sort of an underground area where these guys with flamethrowers.
Yep.
That
You're in the
wasn't.
subway trying to set power back up, right?
Yeah. I feel like there might have been a mission you might not have played. Um, but
That could have been it.
the
I
thing
only played for about 2 hours and then turned it off because I was not interested.
that's so weird. I played the shit out of that game. Like I played I don't know like maybe 4 or 5 hours of it. Um, but the other one, which is like just fighting in a sewer, I was like, okay, you're just fighting in a sewer. But there's a part where you keep hearing about like, oh, it's just where they threw the dead bodies. Like, what? Okay, sure. It's like it's just something you hear in mission blurbs. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, sure, whatever. But there's a part where you actually get into the sewers, and there's just like body bags, like hundreds of like
Yeah.
thousands of body bags. I was like, holy shit, that's. I was like, wow, that's okay. I've never seen that before. And then the next
See,
room,
but I feel like I have.
really?
Like that doesn't seem like just seeing like body bags littering a sewer. I've seen like that's been in games before.
I guess that's true, but I think the next room is where I was like, "Oh wow!" Well, I think that first impression I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." I haven't really seen that before. I do agree. I've seen body bags before, but not just that many. And then the next room was like soldiers, like caskets, because so you go in the room with all these like black body bags. And the next one is like it's a bunch of very nice caskets draped in American flags. It's like, holy shit! I definitely never seen that, and they're just
Yeah,
abandoned
okay.
in
I
a
didn't.
sewer.
I didn't get that part.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought that was like a really crazy image of like these body bags just abandoned in a sewer because they just ran out of room. And I felt like there was like far more storytelling in the environment. I don't. I mean, this game really stuck with me. I don't know. I felt like the environment was really cool, and then the gameplay was like, oh, it was okay.
Yeah, it was very okay. I don't know. How did you feel about the RPG system in this?
I didn't like it.
I hated it.
I didn't like it at all. I thought I talked about this on the other podcast, and I was like, it didn't make sense then, and I played it didn't make sense like now.
Makes no damn sense. I just shot this guy and did 700 hit points of damage with my 30 bullet clip SMG. Why is he still alive?
Yeah, I think that's a yeah. I think that was the one thing that I was just like this, and this happens in so many Ubisoft games. That like Far Cry 4. When I talk about Far Cry 4, it's like Far Cry 4 would be an amazing game if it wasn't a Far Cry game. This would be an amazing game if it didn't have that stupid Ubisoft shit of like this one. This feels like Ubisoft's Destiny. But in Destiny, it kind of made sense because you're shooting like aliens with armor and stuff. But in this one, like you're shooting just guys. Like I had to empty like 3 clips into a single
Yeah.
gang member guy because he
The,
was
the named leaders or whatever, yeah.
yeah. Or like it's just like a simple like normal character that's like just happens to be 3 levels ahead of me. It's like this makes no sense. And it's really weird like how cool the environment is and how realistic it seems and all these stories it tells like completely falls apart as soon as you're shooting a level 5 goon. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah. And and thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense because in a game like Fallout where the same thing happens where it's like I'm shooting mutants with a full clip, or in like even fantasy games, I hit that random dwarf 8 times with a sword. Like that seems totally normal. But just because of the different setting where it's okay, now this is a realistic setting.
Yeah.
This is a realistic game. We're going to put essentially the same mechanic that's in every other RPG where it's just a numbers game into this third person shooter. It feels wrong because there's no reason for that to be there, and I think it's too close to reality to know, you know what? If I hit somebody with a bullet, they're probably dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it takes 2 or 3 if I'm hitting bad spots, or you know what I mean, like whatever. Yeah. But when I put it into a fantasy realm, when I put it into a science fiction realm, okay, I could wrap my head around that. He's probably has space bulletproof armor on,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he's got a super awesome chainmail helmet on that would make my sword just make his head numb a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we put all these like conceptions around it, whereas this is just like a shirtless dude in shorts.
Yeah, I think we have like I think we have an idea of how many hit points a person has. Like we just don't know how many hit points a dragon has or an alien has. Like okay, I can sort of maybe it does take that much because of this, but yeah, because it's so realistic. And that was kind of it is all the things I said before. It's like when I started, I was like I want to start really positive. It's because my negative aspects were the game was like the gamey aspects of it was like I don't know. It's just weird that like yeah, it takes a few clips for somebody to go down. It kills whatever amazing story you're trying to tell with that environment and that art. Um, One thing I do want to talk about. Did you ever go to the Dark Zone?
No, I never made it there. I couldn't find it.
Oh, the Dark Zone's super cool. Like that is like I don't like the gamey aspects, but gamey aspect wise, the Dark Zone is fucking amazing. Like, did you have you heard how the Dark Zone works or?
That's just the PvP area, right?
Sort of. So what it is like everybody can shoot each other, but they sort of encourage you not to. So what happens is like you can have your own. I had like a little. I was just kind of hanging around one guy, the whole time just because I was like I need to partner up with somebody, and but what it is like you kind of walk. So it's just me and him were walking, and then another group is approaching us, and then we just actually it was kind of cool because we're walking by slowly, and we're both sort of pointing our guns at each other, just waiting for the first person to shoot, and then we just kept walking, and I was like, wow, I've just never felt that in a game before where you're just like kind of waiting for everything to explode. I was like, damn, that is really cool. I feel like that's where the RPG aspects and the shooting aspects and like the things make more sense. It doesn't make sense when you're shooting just normal enemies.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've heard that was the big draw of this. And I looked around for a second. I wasn't sure how to get there, so I kind of gave up because I wasn't enjoying what I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I really feel like if you were to take this world, take this environment, take everything about this game, remove the RPG aspect gameplay, and put in a system similar to something like The Last of Us,
Yeah. Yeah.
or even something more combat heavy than The Last of Us, and you were to put in just more of that traditional third-person shooter game, this game has a completely different feel to it.
Yeah, it kind of felt like the gameplay system sort of betrayed whatever they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It made it felt cheaper. I think Destiny is okay. Destiny's tone is really strange, but Destiny kind of it has this weird sort of half jokey tone about everything that I think is okay for Destiny. Like if you watch the commercials for Destiny, it's like, "Hey guys, let's go take down this monster." But this one is trying to set a not really oppressive tone, not like it's not as dark as The Last of Us, not at all. But it's definitely trying to set a tone. And when you're sitting there worried about stats and you're worried about like armor boosts and stuff like that, it kind of betrays that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this actually, I think it should, if like we're talking about a hypothetical fix to the game where it didn't have those RPG elements, I think at the very least it probably should still be multiplayer, just because of that tension of you don't know if somebody's going to try to shoot you. I was like, that's cool. That is something I've just never had in a game before.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I really liked it. I know you didn't. I don't think I'll buy it though, which is kind of a bummer.
See, and that's the thing is like this is not a game I would buy, and I don't know. There wasn't any. I really felt like there wasn't anything unique about it. It's a post-apocalyptic game. It has an art. The most unique thing about this game is the battle or the shooting gameplay RPG system that doesn't feel right. That's the most unique thing about this game. I feel like in my mind is the thing that I don't like.
I would say the setting is unique for video games. Like I was, I think a highly detailed, just a few hours after the apocalypse, a few years after the apocalypse thing hasn't been done before. I feel like it feels like a retread, and I could probably see that, but I think it's pretty significant that it has a lot of people in it. But I can understand what you're saying. Oh, how'd you like the cover system? Sorry, I want to talk about that real quick.
It was okay.
I thought the cover system was fucking amazing.
Why?
Because I kept wondering when I was walking around, I was like, why is it telling me to press X? Why is it telling me to press X? And what I realized is that you could actually aim at cover, and then when you held X, you ran to that cover. So it's kind of like, like the XCOM sort of like lines that you would draw. Have you played XCOM before?
Yeah.
So when you looked at a cover, it would show you the line that your character would automatically run to. So you could actually like sit there and play with it, play with your lines, and play with the way you're kind of like getting to cover.
I feel like lots of games do that at this point.
Do they? I don't know. I guess I haven't played a lot of cover-based shooters in a
It's,
while.
I mean, Gears of War. As soon as you look at a wall and you hold A, if you get within a certain distance, it auto covers to it.
Oh no, no, but I'm saying you could point at a wall like way far away, and then he would
Oh, okay.
automatically kind of like run into it. It kind of felt like you had this like weird tactical aspect because you saw a guy moving over to your right.
Oh,
Um,
no, I missed that part. So yeah, okay, that sounds unique. Yes.
yeah, okay, never mind. If you didn't
I don't
notice it, I can see why people wouldn't notice it because you can play it like a normal Gears of War where you just sort
Yeah,
of like
that's.
running
I mean,
over.
that's essentially how I played it. Yeah, it's like Gears of War, any other cover-based shooter.
But yeah, no, the cover system I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, yeah, like too many
So
of
why
us,
won't you buy it?
huh?
You're very positive about this. You said you hooked into this game. It's all good. Why aren't you buying it?
It just seemed like, honestly, like thinking about it, it just seems like a very big time sink. Like there's too many games that are asking too much of my time. Like it just seems like I was like, oh crap, this is another Destiny. This is one of those games that's going to ask a lot of my time. It's like I don't have time for you, and I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so hypothetically,
Yeah.
they turn this into a 10-hour story-based third-person, like a 10-hour, just straight 10-hour third-person shooter. Do you buy it then, knowing that?
I would if they did sort of like if it was like a squad based like multiplayer shoot. If they kept the multiplayer aspect, but yeah, they kept it. They made it more. Yeah, I feel like the environment, just like I said, every Ubisoft environment game deserves. Yeah, every Ubisoft environment deserves a better game than it is, and I kind of feel like the same way with this. Like I would probably be much more excited about it, and I think that the main meat of the game, which is those RPG aspects, kind of hamper a potentially amazing game.
Yeah. Well, the beta did crazy. I don't know if you saw
I
numbers
did see
from it,
that. Yeah.
but this game's going to be big, which I'm honestly a little shocked by how big it's going to be. And I think we talked about it before. I think that all goes back to the launch trailer for this 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I think there could be a lot of people in our position where like, I don't know about this game. Let's just try it. Let's just let's see what you are. Well, I think Destiny was like, I don't know. I feel like Destiny probably made more sales because like, holy shit, it's Bungie. Yeah, Bungie, 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 and this one's like, okay, you show us. Which
Yeah,
so I don't know if
I
that.
guess that's true.
Mhm,
This worked as a good show and tell of
mhm.
this is the thing you've heard a lot about and don't fully understand. Give it a go.
Yeah,
It almost feels like Splatoon's beta, where it almost feels like more of a we're gonna use this not so much as a beta but more as a hook.
that's
Like
yeah.
I would not have bought Splatoon if it was not for that beta.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is a good hook. I feel like a lot of people played it, but I don't know if it's a good hook, like you're saying.
Yeah,
I hope it's a good hook. I mean, I hope it's kind of successful. I just feel like what I'm gonna make my prediction is that because some people are talking so highly of the Dark Zone, they're just gonna focus on Dark Zone stuff, and that like hypothetical single player stuff is just gonna kind of fall away.
yeah.
And did you play it with a partner, or did you just play it by yourself?
I did one mission with a partner.
Okay, all right. I was just curious. I was gonna lambast you if you played it by yourself because I thought that was a pretty fun like co-op game.